Well, Dom is a complicated character. He's a devilish rascal of a man who is troubled, pained, angry, and yet deep down has a beating heart which starts to beat again at the end of the movie. I look like him today. I'm his doppelganger. I decided to put the Dom Hemingway beard on for the last week of shooting. From the beginning of the movie, Dom is getting out of jail after serving 12 years in prison for not ratting on someone. And he's got an enormous amount of anger in him, both that he spent this time in jail, and while he was in jail, his wife died, his daughter stopped speaking to him, and he comes out of jail bent on getting the money that he's owed for keeping quiet. Dom has his own way of dealing with things, and sometimes, most of the time, they get him in trouble. You start learning there's more to Dom than meets the eye, and I think that's the trick with this movie, so it doesn't fall into a conventional sort of movie about a guy getting out of prison and seeking revenge, because that's not what this movie is at all. It's a character-driven story. It's a dark comedy, hopefully with some heart, and it's really about Dom. That's why I called it Dom Hemingway. It's not about a crime. It's not about this. It's not about that. It's about a guy who's a mess, who takes one minor little step towards grace. I'm from New York City, so I couldn't and didn't really want to write sort of British gangster sort of dialogue. I certainly can't do the sort of rhyming slang that is sort of a Cockney thing. So I wanted to create his own style of language. And so Dom has a way with the word, which, when Jude and I were working on the character, once Jude came on, we sort of developed who Dom was when he was younger, and the idea is that he used language as much as he used his fist to gain attention, and it sort of makes him more than you would imagine. And I think that's the whole point of the film, is that Dom isn't sort of your straight ahead sort of movie cliche, I hope, and that he's got more to it, and hopefully the way he talks will be part of the fun of the movie. I mean, it certainly has been as we've been shooting it. You've never seen Jude give a performance like this. I mean, I knew he was a fine actor, and the reason I wanted him for this role was I was like, he can do it as an actor, but I've never seen him do it. And I think that's always that's how you get a fresh take on something. He's never played a part like this, and he gets to go through the gamut of emotions from total high to total low, to pathetic, to angry, to violent, to everything. And I think that is extremely fun. It's extremely fun to direct. I mean, I have a front row seat every day to an amazing performance. Well, it was a long process trying to figure out what his look is. I knew I didn't. I mean, we both talked from the beginning. I was like, listen, you've got to gain some weight. I want to see your receding hairline. I want to play it up. I'd love it if you got a bit of a tummy. And I think there should be some facial hair. And then from there, Jude came back and he said, I think I should have a little bit of a broken nose. I should have a scar. We played with I'm touching my facial hair because I have Jude's facial hair today. We played with the facial hair. We worked a lot with our brilliant makeup woman, Wakana, to come up with this character. And that mixed with the sort of clothes he wore that Julian, our costume designer, came up with, we really helped create this character, and I knew that once we found a look for Jude, he could escape into that look and then really find this character. I wanted to have Dom have a friend who was older than him, who was the only person who could sort of talk back to him, and that they could have an actual real relationship, because really Dom gets out of jail, his wife is dead, his daughter's not talking to him, and Dickie's his only friend in the world. And I'm interested in male friendship in general. A lot of my movies deal with that, and I think it's it's sort of the unsaid way men behave is interesting to me. I wrote the part for Richard E. Grant in my mind. I didn't write it for Jude, but I wrote it for Richard E. Grant, and to be able to get him is amazing, and to see him play a comic role like this is, I've been a fan of his forever, and this has been like an incredible geeked out joy for me. If Jude didn't work as Dom, there'd be no movie. The movie is about him. But I knew from the first time I met Jude in a pub in London and had a few pints with him that his vision of what Dom should be was exactly what I wanted, only coming at it from an actor's point of view.